Most people picture royalty as modern, polished, and highly protected. But behind the polished marble corridors and glittering chandeliers lies something older, much older. A hidden world where rituals created centuries ago still guide the lives of the most powerful family in Britain. Rituals written when kings ruled by divine right. Rituals preserved through wars, revolutions, abdications, and scandals. Rituals that continue today, unchanged, because to the monarchy, tradition isn't nostalgia, it's survival. Tonight we step into a world where time has barely moved, where ancient ceremony still dictates how a monarch lives, eats, walks, and even sleeps. These are 10 ancient royal rituals still followed today. Number 1. Before every state event, a handwritten seating plan is created. Not printed, not typed, but written in ink. At the top of the list is the monarch, then diplomats, military chiefs, and foreign guests. But that is just the surface. There is a secret ritual beneath it. Every seat, down to the last fork, must follow an ancient hierarchy. You don't sit near the monarch because you're powerful. You sit near the monarch because your title outranks everyone else's. Royal planners spend hours calculating the exact placement of each person. If one person outranks another by even a single honour, the entire table must be rearranged. A misplaced seat could offend a government, and a handshake between the wrong two people could spark a diplomatic misunderstanding. The moment the doors open, a quiet choreography begins. No one chooses where to sit. No one asks to move. In the royal world, a chair isn't furniture. It is rank, history, and power. And this is only the first ritual. The next one involves silence and snow. Number 2. Every Christmas morning at Sandringham, before servants prepare the banquet, the monarch weighs in. The scale is antique, made of brass and wood, used since the 1800s. But it isn't checking health, it's checking satisfaction. The tradition began with King Edward VII, who demanded guests be weighed before and after the holiday feast to prove they had enjoyed themselves. The royal record never lies. If the needle doesn't move, the host has failed. Everyone laughs about it. But privately, some find it uncomfortable. The ritual is always done behind closed doors. No cameras, no audience, just tradition. A strange, ancient reminder that even celebration must be measured. But wait until you hear the ritual that involves footprints and soldiers. Number 3. Every summer, the monarch travels to Scotland to Balmoral and is greeted by soldiers wearing kilts, bagpipes echoing through the mist. But what most people don't know is that this ancient ritual includes a silent inspection of the grounds. The lawn must be perfect. Not nearly perfect, perfect. There is a gardener whose entire job is rolling the grass to remove footprints from the previous day. Even deer tracks are brushed away. When the monarch walks through the grounds, every blade of grass must be upright, because this estate was not built for leisure, it was built as a statement of power. The land itself must bow, a ritual of nature being tamed. Yet the next ritual doesn't tame nature, it speaks to it. Number 4. When a monarch dies, bees must be informed. Yes, told. A beekeeper travels to every hive, gently taps the wood, and whispers that the sovereign has passed. A black ribbon is tied around each hive, and the bees are told who their new master is. The ritual is older than the monarchy itself, born from medieval superstition. The belief said that if the bees were not informed, they would stop making honey or die. The royal family still honours it, not because they believe the bees will abandon them, but because tradition, once lost, can never be repaired. But the next ritual doesn't whisper, it commands. Number 5. When the monarch enters a room, no one turns their back. Not a servant, not a diplomat, not even a head of state. People face the monarch until they leave the space. The ritual began in the Tudor court, where turning your back could be interpreted as disrespect or treason. Today, the rule is softened. People don't have to bow constantly, but one thing remains: you never turn before they do. Even at private dinners, when the monarch rises, the entire table stands. Conversations stop mid-sentence. Forks freeze in mid-air. The power of this ritual is not fear, it is discipline. And there is a moment in the year when discipline becomes spiritual. Number 6. At the opening of Parliament, a member of the House of Commons is taken hostage. Yes, kidnapped. It is symbolic now, but once it was deadly serious. The ritual began during the English Civil War, when Parliament executed the king. To prevent another rebellion, the monarch held a politician hostage in the palace. Today, the tradition remains unchanged. The chosen member is escorted to Buckingham Palace and held there until the monarch returns from Parliament safely. They are treated politely, served tea, allowed to watch the ceremony on television, but they do not leave. The symbolism is chilling. Parliament and the Crown may cooperate, but they do not trust each other blindly. But the next ritual involves no distrust, only hunger. Number 7. Every royal banquet requires a food taster. All dishes are prepared under the watch of palace chefs, but before anything reaches the monarch's plate, one senior member of staff tastes the food. This ritual dates back to the age of poisonings. Even today, the menu is chosen days in advance. Chefs cannot experiment. No garlic is allowed. No shellfish. Nothing risky. The monarch must be able to speak, shake hands, and interact without discomfort. The moment the taster approves, guests may eat, but no one touches a fork until the monarch does. And speaking of forks, Ritual 8 involves a signal invisible to outsiders. Number 8. When the monarch places their handbag on the table, the dinner must end. Not politely, immediately. Royal staff have coded signals. Handbag on table, end dinner in 5 minutes. Handbag on floor? This conversation needs rescuing. A staff member arrives and interrupts. The ritual is not about convenience, it is about control. No royal should ever appear trapped in a conversation. The handbag becomes a scepter of escape. But the next ritual doesn't allow escape. It allows rebirth. Number 9. At coronation, the monarch is anointed with oil. The ritual dates back over 1,000 years. During the ceremony, the cameras are blocked. Screens surround the monarch. Not even the world is allowed to see. Because this moment is not political. It is sacred. The belief: monarchs rule not just by law, but by divine selection. The archbishop touches oil to the monarch's hands, chest, and head. The ceremony is older than the Kingdom of England itself. The world watches a crown being placed. But the true coronation, the anointing, is hidden. The ritual ends with a final ancient symbol. Number 10. After coronation, the monarch touches the Stone of Destiny, a block of sandstone used since 1296 to crown Scottish kings. Stolen, fought over, guarded, returned. When the monarch sits above it, the nation accepts them. The ritual binds Scotland and England under one ruler. Without the stone, a coronation is incomplete. In that moment, time folds. 1,000 years compress into a single breath. And when the monarch rises, they are no longer a person. They are history. The modern monarchy uses smartphones, travels by jet, and lives under constant media surveillance. Yet their power survives because of what has not changed. Rituals older than the countries they rule. Rituals older than democracy. Rituals older than memory. 10 ancient rituals, still alive, still unbroken. Because in the royal world, tradition is not the past, it is the crown itself.